Hey guys, this is Brad from Dallas Geek, and I'm here today with
Rebecca Hunt
and
Robert Goodrick.
And they're here from Heroic Inner Kids. Can you guys tell me a little bit about what makes Heroic Inner Kids so unique for the kind of charity organization that it is?
We are a 501c3 charity focused on education and advocacy for special needs and at-risk kids.
Okay.
How we do that is we partner with various organizations such as Make-A-Wish, Children's Miracle Network, Fan Expo, local ISDs, local libraries, and a long list of other people. We provide costume volunteers for their events and things like that. We help with their programming, and then we have some of our own program that we run as well.
Awesome. You said this is definitely a charity for kids. What kind of stuff do you guys do for kids? Is it just like charity drives and donations, or is this actually volunteering for events to interact with kids?
We do fundraising, but we also do a lot of interaction, and in fact, we do even some hospice care.
Okay.
We have hospice kids that we go and we'll visit like one-on-one and things like that. A lot of these hospice kids, in particular, their parents have spent all of their money on their care, and so we'll go in and we'll do birthday parties for free, providing characters and things like that, and it's whatever the kid wants. I mean, we had a kid a couple years ago that wanted a full Gotham lineup. So we had good guys and bad guys show up for the party, and he loved it. And we actually continued that relationship for over a year, or over 2 years initially. So
nice. So obviously a lot of cosplay involved with this.
Oh, yes.
How many cosplayers do you guys have regularly working with your organization?
Our volunteer list includes over 150 people, but on a regular basis, we have about 40 that are pretty active.
Wow.
In our Dallas branch. We have 3 different branches.
Okay.
One here, and then one in South Oklahoma, and then one out in East Texas, based around Tyler.
Okay.
So,
nice.
yeah.
and then a regional office is going to be starting in Lubbock area. So
Oh, wow.
that will be our newest regional office, because you have to be in a region before you can actually be a branch. So that's going to be starting up, and we have a waiting list for South Texas as well. So that's coming. That's not yet open. So
Nice. So right now you are primarily North Texas, getting ready to expand out more across the state.
right, we are South Oklahoma, North Texas, and we have waiting lists for South Texas and North Oklahoma.
Nice. Very, very nice.
So we're getting there. We just have to we have to grow our main offices as well as our volunteer base. So we want to be able to serve people in the areas that need it, as well as expand the board of directors and the office, basically the office groups as well. So right now we're kind of doing that struggle of growth versus what we can supply. So that's where we're kind of running into, that fast growth issue, which is good and bad all at the same time.
Sure. So, I mean, if you already have so many locations that you have set up and so many others that you're trying to get set up, how long have you guys been in existence so far?
4 years.
4 years.
That's it.
Nice. So in 4 years, you guys have covered quite a bit of ground already. I'm assuming that means that there's been a lot of demand for what you guys have to offer, and a lot of very positive reception.
Correct. And it's part of it too is we hit a vacuum. There was nothing like us before. There's costume clubs out there which are they're wonderful, but they're limited by what their fandom is, and they're also limited by the fact that they are a 501c7, so they can collect money, but they don't run their own programs. So we have a lot more freedom and flexibility than those groups do.
Okay.
So when we made an actual charity, we hit something that didn't exist.
Sure.
And in doing so, we created this new entire, venue of opportunities for people.
Okay.
And suddenly we had cosplayers coming in and other organizations coming in saying, "Can you help?" And so we have areas where before the desire was there, but there was nobody serving it. Now suddenly we've got people serving it. We can actually even help cosplayers or people who aren't necessarily even cosplayers, but people who just want to volunteer and who like costuming with college credits or, high school, letters of recommendation as well. So it serves other people, who are even just helping. So people who help get helped. So it's kind of you wash my hand, I wash yours kind of situation.
Sure.
So we've had people walk across stage with that extra gold rope, and they're like, hey, great, look, I'm walking across stage. I've got an extra rope around my neck because I've done something good and I've helped the community, and it's helping me, when I move on to my career and things. So there are ways where this has actually enhanced other people's, futures while they help others in their community.
Okay.
So,
obviously, being dressed as Doctor Strange over here, you are one of the very enthusiastic cosplayers that are part of the organization.
Yes.
How easy is it for a member of the cosplay community to get involved with Heroic Inner Kids?
Well, we have a sign-up process online, and then that goes through a vetting process through our officers and things like that, and then we'll send an email saying, congratulations, you've been accepted, and then we get them hooked up with events, hooked up with, different opportunities, and that's really where, this organization providing opportunity to cosplayers, because like she said, there were desires, but there wasn't necessarily, people are looking around and they're like, well, where can I help? I don't have, this fandom, or I don't have the, where can I get plugged in and, help in my community? So.
Okay. Of all the different cosplayers that you've had a chance to be able to see that have been participating with these events that you guys put on, what are some of the more popular fandoms that continue to pop up?
Well, as of late, there's been a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, obviously.
Sure.
We've also had some requests for princesses.
Okay.
And then we get a lot of Star Wars, of course. Like I was talking about earlier, the DC, the Gotham, things like that. And so, back in May, I believe it was, we actually got asked to do some anime stuff. So,
nice.
Like I said, we're covering a lot of bases as far as fandom goes. So, if someone wants to participate, we can find a place for them. And it's funny because we'll have events that it'll be a Christmas event. And so then we'll put a Christmas spin on a lot of different characters.
Okay.
And so we have opportunity to bring a lot of different fandoms and hit, we'll bring, superheroes and princesses and a Star Wars guy with a Santa hat. And, and all of a sudden the kids get to interact with who they want to, not just, there's a bunch of princesses here for the girls, or, there's a bunch of superheroes for the guys, or there's this and that. But with the ability to bring everything, the kids are like, oh, cool, such and so is here. Oh, cool, such and so is here. And it's funny because it's not just the kids that get excited about that stuff.
Yeah.
She's got a story from early on where there was a police officer that saw her and was like, yeah, okay. But then Batman showed up and the police officer was completely turned into a kid. And that's kind of where we got our name, is that guy's inner kid came out. There's an inner kid in all of us. And if we can use that inner kid to be heroic, to be a hero to these kids, then that's where the rubber meets the road. So.
Very, very nice. You both had mentioned already that on top of a lot of individuals that volunteer with your organization, there are other groups that do things with you guys, that put on events with you or just help volunteer with a lot of their members. What are some of the larger groups and organizations that have worked with you guys for things?
We work with a lot of the local groups like the 501st, which most people are very familiar with. They were wonderful in helping us with a wish fulfillment for the child that we had that was a long-term hospice patient. He loved, the whole Star Wars world as well as the Gotham world. So we partnered up with them.
Okay.
We've worked with the Avengers groups. We've worked with a lot of the local. We worked with a Princess group at one point. So we've worked with a lot of the other groups like that, and then we also work with other charities like Love for Kids and some of the other groups. Salvation Army is one that I've worked with. So we partner with other groups depending on what the need is.
Okay.
Sometimes it's because they have access to other children that we might need to help. Sometimes it's because they have access to characters that we don't, necessarily have the resources for, or maybe they have just great costumes. I mean, 501st, let's be honest, you're not going to top any 501st Stormtrooper. So we give a big nod to that, and they come forth with it. So a lot of it comes down to what's the fit for the moment, and what's the need for the child. If the child says, hey, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I go to them and I say, hey, look, can you do this? They shut down their entire photo room for us for that moment.
Nice.
And they fulfilled that wish for that child. And we could not thank them enough for that moment. Other times it's an organization coming to us saying, we have these children who are special need, or we have these children who are low income. Can you help? And we come forward with our heroes, or a combination of our heroes and other heroes, and we put it together.
Okay.
So it's, what does the community need, and how can we help?
Okay.
That's really where we facilitate what's best for the children. And that's our job. I mean, that's why we became what we became.
Sure. Now, I know that at a lot of conventions that I've seen you guys at, there has usually been some kind of gaming aspect that tends to be associated with you guys a lot.
Like a kid zone.
Yeah, like some kind of kid zone or some kind of video gaming tabletop thing. A lot of the more fun aspects of the nerdy things that exist out there. And I also know that you guys have an annual gaming fundraiser that you do.
Life?
That's it. Yeah. So how did that become a thing?
Actually, Extra Life we've had to hand to our partners, Meeples.
Okay.
Basically because we did get so big.
Okay.
Meeples is here local, and they're a fabulous local gaming community charity.
Yeah.
But because we got so big and they are here in Dallas, it's kind of hard to say, hey, in Oklahoma, do Extra Life for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was Meeples took on our gaming division, and they've taken over our Extra Life team. So they are here in Dallas,
Okay.
and they are our partners for our Extra Life team. They're fabulous. So Meeples works with us for our Extra Life team.
Okay.
So Meeples Solutions now works for our Extra Life team for Cook's Children's Medical and Children's Medical in Dallas.
Okay.
And we are now working with Cook's Medical for as a partner in doing their cosplaying visits.
Okay.
So we both work with Cook's, just in different aspects.
Okay.
But because we got so big, it was kind of hard to look at all our different divisions in Tyler and in Lubbock and say, just work with our Extra Life team.
Sure.
So Meeples wonderfully took that over for us. And now Meeples says anything that we have that's cosplay goes to Hi Kids, and we say anything that's, gaming, we put to Meeples.
Okay.
So what we make sure of is anytime we go to the big shows or any other shows, we make sure they have tables.
Okay.
So this upcoming Dallas Fan Days, look for a Meeples table.
Okay.
Get signed up for Extra Life. We definitely want that going on. It's not going to be under Hi Kids team anymore, though, because Hi Kids has gotten so huge. You don't want to have Hi Kids Oklahoma Extra Life, which is actually going to go to Hi Kids Oklahoma's hospital.
Sure.
It gets too confusing.
Sure.
So we made sure that each Hi Kids branch has their, own team that they push to locally.
Okay.
And that way, nobody gets confused as to who Hi Kids is endorsing any longer.
Got it.
So each Hi Kids branch will have their own gaming team they endorse.
Okay.
Dallas team is going to be with Meeple Solution. So Meeple Solution will have a table at every fan expo, and any other teams, that need to be promoted will be at their big expos or their big, conventions.
Nice.
So we make sure that we are partnered.
Nice.
And we still, again, promote within our own community. But it just got too big and too confusing. And we grew. We did not expect to get this big. We weren't designed to be multi-state.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to carry on, know your limits.
Nice.
And we know our limits. And Meeples very kindly stepped up. So we really appreciate it. And now David Downing, who used to be on our board, is the president of their board there at Meeples.
Okay.
So that's how we handled that, because we just went, we're in over our head. We know it. We hit our limit. And that's what we're going to do.
Very nice.
So it was a wonderful way to partner with a great charity.
Yeah.
And they handle great gaming. They're fabulous. If you have any kind of charity gaming needs, definitely seek Meeples.
Awesome. So is that video games, tabletops, a little bit of everything?
Okay. All of it. They are fabulous for it. Tabletop is their primary push, but they can handle all of it, and they are fabulous for setting up gaming events.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, the one thing that has continued to be very impressive to me for both seeing y'all's organization as well as just everybody that has been associated with you has been just how giving the nerdy community has been about wanting to give back to not just the community at large, but specifically the more in need aspects of the community, like the children, especially the children. Anybody that can't, say, regularly come to some event like this, it has been so amazing how impressive the community has been to reach out and try to give back. So just really quickly, what has been the most fulfilling aspect for each of you being part of Heroic Inner Kids and being able to do what you do?
For me, the most fulfilling part has been seeing the community at large.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people talk about the drama and the infighting and things like that, but life is too short to worry about that. If you get past all of the drama and trauma, at the end of the day, there's still a basis of caring. There's still a basis of giving. And it's why I created Heroic Inner Kids in the first place. Because when I looked at the cosplay community, I saw love, I saw giving, I saw charity. And that's never changed. And for all of the rumor mongering and cause fame wants and things like that, there's still a heart. And no matter what is said, by whom, about whom, there's still a heart. And the day that people put aside their own wishes and wants and look at what's really important, that heart will still beat and will still be there. And we are still there as an organization for those in need within our own community, whether that be cosplayer to cosplayer or within the community at large. And that's cosplayer to those who are less fortunate, because every hero needs a hero. And sometimes that means being there for other cosplayers to pick them up when maybe they don't feel like their costume is doing so well. Or maybe that's just when you need somebody who you know really well to remind you to look at the world with a positive light. And you're, getting down yourself. And I've had that. I've had good friends who've reminded me that I need to look at the world with a positive light when things are getting a little too heavy on my own shoulders. But the world needs heroes. Heroes need heroes. And if we can't be that, then why are we putting on these costumes portraying heroes?
Awesome. So what about you?
Wow, how to follow that up. Thanks. Most fulfilling thing. It's funny when you get a bunch of lovable weirdos together, to go make kids smile. And, we're like, oh, we're going to go serve and we're going to give and we're going to give. And yet seeing those kids smile, seeing, just a glimmer in the kids, and all of a sudden we're the ones being lifted up. you know, the love that the kids are showing us, and you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go, you know, serve kids, and all of a sudden we end up being the ones being served, and it's like, okay, thanks. So it's a really humbling experience.
Awesome. Very, very awesome. Well, if you are a member of the cosplay community or just somebody who wants to really help give back in a very fun way, Heroic Inner Kids is an amazing organization that you should absolutely check out and see where you can help out. So until next time, this is Brad from Dallas Geek saying, see ya.